Libya is shocking the world with an audacious comeback, in a move that has left analysts stunned and African infrastructure watchers in awe. The North African nation has just announced the revival of its long-abandoned national railway project, an eye-popping $10 billion mega undertaking that could change everything we thought we knew about mobility, trade, and connectivity on the continent. At a time when most African countries are struggling to get even basic roads paved, Libya is aiming for the stars, literally laying tracks that stretch from the Mediterranean coast to the edges of the Sahara, and even plotting future links to landlocked nations like Niger and Chad. Could this be the most revolutionary transport project in Africa today? What happens when a nation recovering from civil war decides to bet on trains instead of oil? The heart of Libya's new vision lies in three key railway lines. The first is a 170-kilometer standard gauge, double-track electrified line running westward from the capital, Tripoli, to the Tunisian border town of Ras Adir. The second is a longer 472-kilometer stretch from Tripoli all the way to Sirte, hugging the Mediterranean coastline. But perhaps the most ambitious of all is the 810 kilometers north-south line from Misrata deep into the Sahara Desert, ending at Seba, a key city near the borders with Niger and Chad. These aren't just lines on a map. They're bold arteries of movement, of trade, of Pan-African integration. Why do these specific routes matter so much, and what could they mean for a continent often left out of the global logistics conversation? To understand the true magnitude of this railway revival, one must go back to the Gatfe Era. It was in 2008 when Libya first signed massive contracts with China's Civil Engineering Construction Corporation to construct a national railway network that would stretch over 3,000 kilometers. Back then, the plan was to complete the entire project by 2013, turning Libya into a logistics powerhouse linking Africa to Europe via the Mediterranean. But that dream was violently derailed in 2011 with the fall of the Gaddafi regime and the eruption of civil war. Construction was abandoned midway, leaving tracks unfinished, equipment rusting in the desert, and hopes for a rail renaissance in ruins. Now, over a decade later, Libya is picking up the pieces, not just to finish what it started, but to completely reimagine what African connectivity could look like. The scale of the revived project is nothing short of breathtaking. The 170 kilometers Tripoli-Ras Adir line, for example, is about the same distance as traveling from London to Birmingham. But imagine that line being high-speed, electrified, and built to modern European standards, capable of running at 250 kilometers per hour. That's faster than most trains in the United States. The 472 kilometers Tripoli-Sirte coastal line, that's nearly the distance between Paris and Amsterdam, and would dramatically improve coastal mobility, reducing travel time between key economic hubs. Now consider the 810 kilometers Misrata-Seba line, longer than the entire length of the United Kingdom, and aimed at transporting not just passengers, but also minerals, goods, and freight from resource-rich inland areas to international markets. It will initially operate at 120 kilometers per hour, but will be designed for future electrification, laying the groundwork for more advanced systems in the years to come. Each route is engineered with strategic economic corridors in mind, connecting ports, cities, industrial zones, and even tourism sites. But who is behind this mega project? The answer lies in a powerful partnership between Libya's post-war government and China's state-backed railway powerhouse, China's Civil Engineering Construction Corporation, a company with an extensive track record across Africa. From Nigeria's modern rail networks to Tanzania's standard gauge railway, China's Civil Engineering Construction Corporation has been at the center of Africa's infrastructure evolution. In Libya, they are doing more than building railways. They're helping revive a nation. The Memorandum of Understanding signed in Beijing during the World Congress on High-Speed Rail sets the foundation for construction to resume. China's Civil Engineering Construction Corporation will update old designs, revise technical plans, and coordinate implementation strategies with Libya's fragmented but increasingly cooperative East-West government. Specialized working groups have already been established to tackle legal, financial, and engineering hurdles. Yet China's Civil Engineering Construction Corporation is not footing the bill. Financing is being led by the Libyan government, with support from Chinese technical partners. This is not your typical debt trap diplomacy. It's a homegrown investment by a nation determined to control its own narrative. The current estimated budget for the full project is $10 billion. A staggering sum, but one that the government sees as essential for long-term growth. Already, phased construction is being planned. The Tripoli-Ras Adir route could be completed in as little as 6 years, while the Misrata-Seppa line might take up to 3 decades due to the harsh desert conditions and massive scale. Yet the vision is long-term, and Libya appears determined to see it through. What about the economic returns? The numbers are, quite frankly, jaw-dropping. The railway network is projected to create over 667,000 construction jobs and nearly 17,000 permanent operational roles. Annual transport savings could reach $1.8 billion, with a GDP boost of up to $15 billion. For context, that's more than 60% of Libya's entire GDP in some years. But the impact won't stop at Libya's borders. With potential extensions into Tunisia, Algeria, and even Chad and Niger, this railway could finally unlock the long-dreamed North African Rail Corridor, a seamless link connecting sub-Saharan Africa to European markets via the Mediterranean. Could this be the key to turning Africa from a collection of isolated economies into a single continental force? For African travel agents, tourism boards, and logistics firms, this is the kind of infrastructure miracle that opens new chapters. Imagine selling tour packages from Dakar to Cairo by rail, or coordinating freight from Nigerian factories through Seppa, Misrata, and Tripoli to European markets in Italy or France. The railway could transform business travel, launch new conference circuits, and drive tourism in regions that were previously too remote to access. And in doing so, it could change the very way the world sees Libya, from a post-conflict nation struggling for stability to a logistical hub, a tourism gateway, and an economic trailblazer. In the grand narrative of post-war recovery, Libya's $10 billion railway gamble stands out like a phoenix rising from the ruins. It is a story of ambition, resilience, and Pan-African vision. While many nations continue to tread carefully, Libya is sprinting ahead, laying steel tracks through sand, past history, and into the future. In the face of hardship, it has chosen to build, and that decision, if successful, could inspire a new wave of infrastructure revolutions across Africa. Shouldn't Ghana, Nigeria, Ethiopia, and Angola be thinking just as boldly? Shouldn't the African Union be championing this level of regional integration? Libya is showing the continent and the world that recovery is not just about peace and elections. It's about ports and tracks and trains. It's about connecting people, creating jobs, and rewriting the rules of who gets to move and who gets left behind. With steel rails as its pen, Libya is writing the next great chapter of African progress. Will the rest of the continent follow suit or watch from the sidelines as the trains begin to move? Your perspective matters. What do you make of Libya's $10 billion mega national railway network project? Share your thoughts and insights in the comments section below. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the New Africa Wealth and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our informative future videos. Stay informed, stay engaged, and thank you for watching.